Hello, my name is Darren Thomas and I'm the Director of Educational Research Techniques. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at if-else statements, which is a part of the logical flow that is used in many programming languages. But in this particular video, we're going to be focusing on if-else statements and logical flow inside the Python language. So as you can see here, I'm already logged in, or not logged in, I've already opened up Spider, my IDE that I use for Python, and we're going to play around with this. So an if then statement or if statement basically is it allows the computer to make a decision based on a condition. So often the computer has two choices with an if then if statement. So if such and such is true, do this. If not, do something else. So instead of talking about this theoretically, let's look at an actual example. So first I need to make a variable. So I'm going to make a variable called number, and I'm going to store the number 5 inside it, like so. And to store it, you type everything in, press F9, and it's now saved. Next, I'm going to make my actual if statement. So if number equals 5, so what I'm telling the computer is that if the number equals 5, and then after the colon, I'm going to tell the computer what to do if this is true. Print correct. That's what happens. So look carefully here. This is what's happening. So I have my if statement right here. It starts with if, obviously, and notice how it's blue. Number equals 5, then print correct. So now, if this statement is true, which we know it is right now, it'll print the phrase correct. So let's check this out and see what happens. Highlight everything, press F9, and notice how right here it prints the word correct. That's what it's supposed to do when number equals 5. And also notice the use of the double equal sign here. A single equal is for, storing variables and things like that. Double equal is for like comparison. Now, if I change this number right here, my second line from 5 to say 6, let's see what happens now this time. It doesn't print anything. Notice how there's a blank because number does not equal 6. So since the statement is false, Python does not do anything. It just runs the code and is left blank like that. Now, that is an example of what you can do with just a single command. It is also possible to have multiple commands run based on a single if statement. So again, repeating my same idea here. If number equals 5, put the colon, press enter. Also notice the indentation. That's automatic when you use the IDE because Python worries about white space. We're going to print correct again like previously. This is one command we want, but we're also going to have it do a second command. Print done. So now if the statement is true, Python will do two things. It'll print correct and it'll also print done. And so we highlight all of our code here. We press F9. And if you look over here off to the right, if number equals 5, which we know that's true because the original number equals 5, it'll print correct and done like so. So you could put multiple commands. It goes on forever. It can get very complicated. But not only can you do multiple commands, you can also do multiple comparisons in the if statement. So let me see if I can give you an example here. So if, and then put inside parentheses here, number is greater than 0 and number is less than 10. Then what will you do? Very simple. Just do what you did before. Print correct. And also print done. So you can see this is a little bit more complicated. So now our number must be greater than 0 and also less than 10. Slightly more complicated as you can see. So in other words, our number needs to be between 1 and 9. That is what it is. Now remember, in line number 1 at the top, we set it to 5. So we know this is going to be true. Let's see what happens when we run it. All right, so you can see that once again it prints correct and done because the number 5 is greater than 0 but also less than number 10. So you can see all these different comparisons. And to do this comparison, we use the word and here so that it knows that if this and this, if you will, if you want some sort of an abstract view of it. Now, for the last one, we're going to do what we call an if-else statement. So if-else means if this is true, do this. If not, or else, do something else. So the else is like, if the statement is not true, then do this instead. That's what happens. And so basically, we're going to rerun the code we did before with the double comparison here. where we did if number is less than 0 and if number is are greater than 0 and less than 10. Then we want to, then we want the semicolon here, print correct and print done, like so. All right, now what we're going to do is that now, else, if this is not true, print number is out of range. So what's going to happen is this. We're going to this is what's going to happen. We're telling Python if the number is greater than 0 and less than 10, print correct and print done. If not, in other words, if the number is not between 1 and 9, print this following statement that the number is out of range. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to change the value of our number variable to something interesting, 11. And now, if we run all of this, let's see what happens. All right, now see what happened. Our number is now set to 11. And so what happened was that Python does the if and first. And it can tell, hey, the number 11, yes, it is greater than 0. However, it is not less than 10. So we don't print correct, we don't print done. Instead, we print else. Number is out of range. And so that's the beauty of an if-else statement. Now, of course, you can make this much more complicated than this, but this is just a basic introduction into how the if statement and the if-else statement works inside R, and also kind of an introduction to logical flow inside the Python language. So in this video, we looked at how to deal with and manipulate if and if-else statements inside R, dealing with setting the variable and also the command you wanted to do after you set the if statement, and also the advantages of the else statement when the first statement is false. I know this is somewhat complicated, but again, this is basic ideas in programming, and we hope that you're able to get some idea of how these things work. So, my name is Darren Thomas. I'm the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Thank you for listening.